Inside the Assassination of Charlie Kirk, true crime documentary on the Utah shooting. Subscribe, like, and comment now, because this is more than a headline. This is a moment America won't forget. Midday sun beat down on the stage set up outdoors at Utah Valley University, UVU, in Orem, Utah. It was September 10, 2025. Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old conservative activist, founder of Turning Point USA, stood beneath a tent. Tulips of microphones surrounded him. A crowd of roughly 3,000 had gathered under a bright sky. They had come to listen, to challenge, to debate. It was part of his American Comeback Tour. It was supposed to be another stop, another speech, another handshake, perhaps another news clip. At 12 p.m., the event opened. Question and answer, political debate as always. A student from the audience asked Charlie Kirk, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?" Kirk replied, "Counting or not counting gang violence," and then paused. The crowd's applause faded. At about 12:23 p.m., everything changed. Investigators say a single rifle shot, fired from a rooftop, the Losey Center, a building across campus, struck Kirk in the neck. He recoiled, eyes widening, body shifting forward. A hush followed. Then the chaos. People screamed. Medical personnel rushed forward. Security scrambled. Campus police, private security, and bystanders attempted first response. But the worst had already happened. Kirk was transported to Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem. His condition was critical. Surgeons operated. Outside, reporters gathered. Social media lit up. Texts flew. Statements were demanded. Governors spoke. National leaders mourned. At 2:40 p.m., former President Donald Trump announced his death on Truth Social. Charlie Kirk was gone. Who was the suspect? Within 48 hours, law enforcement identified. Investigation, evidence and allegations. Key pieces of evidence emerged quickly. Surveillance video placing Robinson on campus, digital messages about getting a rifle, and shell casings found at the scene. The rifle recovered was a bolt-action model. Bullet casings had inscriptions, in some reports provocative or ideological messages, though some of those reports are still being verified. Reuters. Authorities say Robinson faces several serious charges: aggravated murder, which in Utah may carry the death penalty, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious injury, and obstruction of justice. He is being held without bail. AP News. Meanwhile, misinformation about the case spread rapidly on social media. False claims about Robinson's affiliations, misidentification of individuals in crowd footage, and misleading videos. Authorities asked for calm and asked the public to verify sources before sharing. AP News. Cliffhanger, the missing clue. Late on the night of September 11th, as investigators combed through camera feeds, audio recordings, and digital footprints, they uncovered something unexpected. A rooftop door that had been logged closed in security records was found unlocked in video footage for exactly 46 seconds just prior to the moment of the shot. The timestamp placed someone exiting through that door. But the person caught on video was not wearing what Robinson was later seen wearing on the roof. Security records for that rooftop access pad were checked. They showed no log entries for Robinson themselves accessing that pad at that time. If true, this could mean either Robinson had help from someone else, or the security system was manipulated to cover for another individual. Authorities have not confirmed whether this leads to a second suspect or whether the discrepancy can be explained. The question looms, was Tyler Robinson acting alone, or P? The rooftop from which the shot is believed to have been fired, the Losey Center building, had windows and roof access points, some of which had been allegedly locked in security logs, though video showed someone accessing a rooftop door shortly before the shot. PBS, public safety officials, confirmed that the person who fired the shot was seen fleeing immediately after from the rooftop. Surveillance video appears to show the suspect descending from the roof and crossing to a wooded area beyond campus. Reuters. Some of the most sensitive discrepancies involve timing and access. Security logs for roof access doors reportedly showed them closed at certain timestamps, only for video evidence to show someone exiting or entering around that time. The Wall Street Journal. Motive, evidence, and digital trail. Despite the wealth of physical evidence, authorities have not yet officially confirmed a motive. While Governor Cox and others have characterized this as a political assassination, and Robinson is reported to have expressed ideological opposition to Kirk, no charge has yet been resolved in court declaring motive. Wikipedia, investigators have uncovered Discord messages connected to the suspect, suggesting planning around obtaining a rifle and discussing the event. However, Discord itself has denied that any violence-oriented messaging by Robinson was definitively proven to come through their platform in terms of incitement. The Verge. Further, authorities say they conducted a $100,000 reward offer to the public for information, processed thousands of tips, and reviewed hundreds of interviews in the effort to build the case. Reuters. Public fallout, grief, and political storm. The public reaction was immediate and wide. Condemnation from both sides of the political aisle, calls for calm, debates over political violence, and reflection over security at large public. New evidence, the court documents. On September 13, 14, 2025, court documents and affidavits of probable cause were filed in Utah that revealed new clarity on how the shooting unfolded. Surveillance footage placed the suspect, Tyler Robinson, arriving on campus around 11:52 a.m. Then he moved to the rooftop of the Losi Center. Kirk's event had begun at 12 p.m. At 12:23 p.m., the shot was fired. Distance from roof to stage either 900 yards or later revised to number 142 yards. Wikipedia. The documents also included details about Robinson's movement. Witnesses in video showed him walking with a pronounced limp earlier, then later appearing to move fluidly before positioning himself to fire. After the shot, Robinson allegedly fled from the rooftop, changing clothes, and escaped via a wooded area. Some reports say his father and a youth pastor facilitated his surrender once he realized he had been identified in surveillance images. The Wall Street Journal. Investigators recovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel near the scene, along with engraved bullet casings. Some of those casings contained provocative messages, inscriptions that stirred intense discussion online. The exact wording of every engraving is still under scrutiny because some initial reports were conflicting or erroneous. Reuters. Charges against Robinson, as reported, include aggravated murder, a capital offense in Utah, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, and obstruction of justice. He is being held without bail. AP News motivations. What motivated Tyler Robinson remains the subject of investigation and public speculation, but some consistent threads are emerging from court documents, statements by public officials, and interviews. Robinson is described in several reports as having grown more political in recent months, expressing ideological dissag. Was security adequate? Should public figures speaking outdoors face higher protection, especially knowing their presence provokes strong reaction? Some are demanding changes to laws governing event security, rooftop access logs, weapon purchases, and how digital communications are monitored. PBS, The Twist. Unresolved threads, what we don't know. Even with these documents and evidence, key pieces remain unclear, and these unknowns may change everything. Exact motive. Is Robinson's motive purely ideological, personal, or a mix? Courts have not confirmed whether he acted in response to specific speeches, threats, or long-standing resentment. There is no verified statement by Robinson publicly admitting full motivation, assistance, and access. Who unlocked the rooftop door, if indeed it was unlocked? Was there coordination? Did someone provide hideouts? Did security staff or maintenance workers figure into the chain of events? Clothing discrepancy. The surveillance video shows someone exiting the rooftop door just before the shot, wearing clothing that does not match what Robinson was later seen wearing. Did he change clothes? Were there multiple individuals on the roof? These could point to an accomplice or deception. Consistency of engraving reports. Reports of what the bullet casings said vary across outlets. Some messages have been retracted or corrected. It is not yet confirmed how many casings had messages, which messages exactly, or whether some were planted or misreported. Legal outcome. As of now, Robinson is charged. But whether he will be tried, what plea he may enter, whether the death penalty will be sought, whether the trial will implicate other actors, these are all unresolved. Final twist. The public video. Identity question. Late in the investigation, footage surfaced online. Cell phone videos from event attendees. One video shows Kirk being struck. Court filings reveal evidence used in the probable cause affidavit, surveillance footage showing Robinson carrying a rifle, then later being seen on the rooftop of Losi Center. AP News, bullet, rifle casings found at or near the scene with provocative inscriptions, though some reports about the inscriptions have been re-examined for accuracy. AP News, digital communications, including messages reported by a roommate and digital metadata that investigators assert support planning or intent. AP News, a tip or confession to a family member or close friend that contributed to Robinson's arrest. AP News prosecutors, however, have not publicly proven all elements of motive or whether Robinson had accomplices. They must now present their case in court, and the defense may challenge everything from the chain of custody of evidence to whether all surveillance matches are conclusive. Witness misidentification, clothing changes, and rooftop door access logs are likely to be central under cross-examination. Public response polarization. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica Kirk, delivered emotional statements in the days following, vowing to carry forward her husband's mission. She called his death a result of his beliefs and activism, emphasized patriotism and faith, stating that Turning Point USA would continue its events. CBS News. Governor Spencer Cox called the event a watershed moment in American history, condemning political violence and praising Robinson's family for helping in the investigation. President Donald Trump also issued statements, as did prominent figures across the political spectrum. The event has intensified the national conversation around political activism, free speech, and safety. Reuters. Media coverage has been extensive and also contentious. Some coverage focuses on whether rhetoric in politics contributes to violence. Other pieces key. Increased scrutiny of event security across universities, political activism, public speaking, especially for high-profile figures. UVU and other campuses may revise security protocols, roof access limitations, guest screening, surveillance, and response times. Public policy debate over political violence, how rhetoric both online and offline influences behavior, what legal safeguards are feasible without infringing on free speech, balancing transparency versus security, twist unresolved final edge. In the swelling media coverage, a video clip surfaced of Robinson's father speaking to investigators. He reportedly said that Robinson had expressed remorse and confusion, but also spoke of never meaning to kill, implying possible unintended outcome. This introduces ambiguity. Was the shooter's intent to kill Charlie Kirk specifically, or was the shot meant more broadly as protest? Legal definitions of premeditated, aggravated murder require a higher degree of intent. This disclosure complicates public perception and may play a role in sentencing debates. People.com. Another twist. Some bullet casings retrieved were unfired but engraved, and these are being treated differently in legal filings. Unfired casings do not necessarily show who pulled a trigger, but may show intent or symbolism. The engravings, especially those with anti-fascist or meme culture language, have led to political arguments over extremism versus protected speech. Some initial reports about specific inscriptions are being reevaluated. The Daily Beast, what this case really means. At its core, this case is more than the tragedy of a life ended. It is a mirror held up to political polarization in America, showing how public discourse, ideology, and activism can spill into violence. A test of security, accountability, and transparency in public events for both organizers and institutions. A reminder that